I just did the second draft of The Little Glow Sheep. It's a children's story. And in that children's story, I had holiday Easter eggs that I drew for that. And I just wanted to show you how you could do that with Inkscape. Inkscape is a free tool available for Windows, GNU Linux, and Mac. And it's free. You can use PowerPoint if you want, but personally, I think Inkscape is a lot more powerful, and it will run on several different platforms, and it exports natively to software vector graphics, or SVG. Whereas I don't know if PowerPoint has that capability just yet. So you're better off doing your vector graphics in Inkscape than, say, PowerPoint. Um, I'm running version 1.32. That's my grandpa's clock over there, my late grandpa's clock. And you can get Inkscape from the Windows Store. This is the best way to get it if you do not have administrator access to your account. To your PC. If you do happen to be the administrator of the PC you manage, or that you run on, I hope you're not running on in your administrator account daily. But it is. But if you don't have administrator rights, then you can just get it through the store. Otherwise, if you do happen to have administrator rights, you can go over to this site right here, and you can download the MSI package and then install it for all the users of your computer, like if you're like a parent and you're managing a PC for a family. But otherwise, your children can all, if you are a parent, your children can also go over here to the Microsoft Store and install it and it's been vetted by Microsoft. There's no risk involved here. And install it into their local account, and there's not any chance that it's going to mess up the PC. So as far as I know, because it should be just local to their specific user. So that's the advantage of that. So you may just tell your kids to get it from the Microsoft Store if you have children in the house. Now, if you're doing this for yourself, you're an adult programmer, you want to write the next Stardew Valley or Minecraft or whatever. Of course, Minecraft's 3D, and you might be using Blender for that. But if you're doing this as for a hobby and you're an adult, then you can probably just get the MSI file and run it as administrator. Although you'll probably have to apply the updates yourself. As new updates come in, you're going to have to uninstall the MSI package, reinstall the new one. Whereas with the Microsoft Store version, if you use that, you should get automatic updates. So that's just one way. I actually installed from the MSI package because I'm the only one in the house right now. So I had children, but they're all moved out right now. So if we go over here, one of the things you might want to do before you actually start creating your own Easter eggs is you might want to go take a look at the Easter eggs that are available out there. Most of these are free, which is fine. But some of them, even though they say they're free, they're not free for commercial use. Or you need to have a subscription. I do not like subscriptions, so I'm just going to show you how to draw your own Easter egg. So you just train your brain better than, say, ChatGPT would do, although ChatGPT is pretty smart these days. Just train your brain on what an Easter egg will look like. Okay? These are what Easter eggs look like. All right, we've memorized it, so we're going to go ahead and close that. And we're not gonna directly copy anybody's work, but we're just going to get a general idea of what an Easter egg looks like. And we're not going to do anything too fancy because that might fry your brain. Now, if you're an artist, go full speed ahead. All power to you. I've got a daughter, my oldest daughter is a videographer, and she's also an artist. And my middle daughter's an artist. And I've got some artwork from my youngest too, also. But anyway, so we're gonna go over to here to there's Inkscape, and right, let's go back to the program. Is it running? There we go. All right, so we're on version 1.32. That was the version that was in the store. First thing you do when you open up the new document, you're going to see that it's in a page-like format. That's not going to be good for what we want to do. I mean, we're not going to do we may not do it here, but we're going to want to rotate this in a third-party app. And to rotate in a third-party app, you generally want to be very aware of the symmetry of your item. Now, in some cases, like a flapping wing, a page-like format might be fine because the top half of the wing might be up here, and then down here there's nothing, and then it would flap along this center line right here. Okay, but in our case, we're going to rotate, and I don't want to show you the pictures of the X, Y, and Z axis, but in my example, Z would be coming out of the page towards your face. X would be going to the right. Y would be going up. Okay, so we're going to be rotating along the Z axis. Okay, which is going like that. Okay, but in the case of a wing, it would be rotating along the x-axis. The x-axis goes like this. So rotating along the x-axis would be like this. It'd be flapping. These symmetry is just something you're going to have to get. You're just going to have to be familiar with when you set these up. We're going to be rotating against what I'm calling the z-axis, though. So first thing we need to do is go to File. We need to go to Document Properties. And we need to change this so that it's a square. Now, these particular pixel dimensions don't really matter. I think that's supposedly pixels, but maybe it's not pixels, but it's maybe it's millimeters. We don't really care what those dimensions are because scalable vector graphics, when you blow it up really big, it maintains resolution. When you shrink it, it maintains the resolution. When you take a bitmap, like on the Pixels movie, and you blow those things up really big, huge, then you start seeing like individual blocks. And my middle child says she really likes the Pixels movie, and I think she indicated she would like me to do more music videos about that are 3D style. But I told her, man, I'm not that talented. I would like to learn Blender, but I don't really have the PC here to emulate Pixels, and I'm not anywhere that close. If I was that smart, I would have already written Minecraft, and I'd be a millionaire now. But I didn't think of Minecraft. Some other dude did. So, man, that was an easy program to write, but that guy is so rich. Anyway, but whatever. Missed opportunity. 200, I should be writing video games instead of talking about how to draw stuff, I guess. But that's part of it. A lot of video game programmers, they don't know how to draw. So I'm a little bit burned out on programming. I'm tired of computer IT. I mean, AI is taking things over anyways, taking over the creative space as well. We're going to change this to 200 by 200. So it doesn't matter whether this would be 300 by 300, 400 by 400, 500 by 500. It doesn't really matter as long as the ratio is the same. In a square, we got the x-axis and the y-axis. But both x and y are the same in a square. In a rectangle, they're different. They're independent. X and y are not the same value. But in a square, it's always x. Every single side is of length x in a square. But that's a little bit of geometry that I really don't want to get into right now. We'll hit enter, and it turns into a square. Okay, the first thing you're going to be tempted to do is what I did for the little glow sheep, is you're going to attempt to draw an egg by clicking on the ellipse arc tool, and then drag that. Well, that looks pretty much like an egg. You see how we can make this, if I click on the select tool, you see how I can make that smaller? I think I know what I was doing on the other video. I had to redo this video several times because I keep messing up. I'm very absent-minded. So yeah, you can squish this as needed to make it look more or less like an egg, but you can't skew it on the top and down on the bottom. So we're not going to do that. Okay, that's one way you could do it. You can, and if you want to, then you can draw your little circles in here, and you can color them and stuff. Like we'll make that blue. Whoops, and then we'll make this one green, and then we'll make this one, I don't know, red. You get the idea. There's your Easter egg. That's the easy way to do an Easter egg, but we don't want all that, okay? So we're going to get rid of all this. We're going to do it a little bit more complicated. We're going to go click on this pen tool where it says draw Bezier curves and straight lines. We're going to click on that. Now, we're going to try to draw an egg, okay? But you can't just click on the four main spots of the egg and draw like a diamond, okay? An upside down diamond. That's not going to work because it's going to draw lines. You're going to see a diamond shape. What we need to do is we need to click and hold. that allows you to draw the curve. If you just click like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to draw straight lines. And there's not going to be no way to shape this into an egg. Okay? It assumed you wanted a polygon. So we're not going to be doing that, right? We're going to go back to the same tool here. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to click and hold in the first spot. Now, while we're holding down the mouse button, we're going to drag a little bit over to the left to establish the curve extent. And then we're going to let go. Now we're going to move the mouse with the left button unclicked. We're going to move the mouse over to the left-hand side to their next point. And then we're going to click and hold again. Well, actually, we need to go down a little bit. That's a little bit too high. Click and hold again. And see, as we drag this, it kind of shapes the egg, the lower section of the egg. Although it's too, now let go. That's a little bit too low, actually. Now we're going to go over to the next point. And again, we're going to click and hold. Always click and hold to establish the curve. Click and hold. Now we're going to drag while we're holding the mouse button until this is a little bit more like an egg. Not quite like an egg, but it's at least warped. Now let go. We're going to go to the next point. With the mouse, we're not holding down the mouse button now. We'll go to the next point. Click, hold, and drag until we're at the desired shape. The main thing that this clicking and holding is doing is telling Inkscape that we want an arc here, okay? That's the big point. Now let go. Now we're going to drag the mouse we're not holding down the mouse button, drag the mouse button over to the last point and see how that turns red. That means it's going to snap to it and it's going to form a closed shape. That's good. We want that. Again, click and hold. While holding down the mouse button, we drag until it's about the right shape. Okay. And we can even twist this, but that's not going to be good. Generally speaking, we want these for the egg. We want these to be aligned. Now let go. Okay, that looks more like a gumdrop than an egg. Whoops! Okay, so we're going to go over here and left click on this button right here, this nodes tool. Okay, it says edit paths by nodes. And now we're going to click on our gumdrop. And we're going to drag the gumdrop. We're going to drag this. We're going to hold down the left mouse button and drag this square until the gumdrop looks more like an egg. And drag this square over here until it looks more like an egg. Okay, and then we'll drag this up. Okay, something's still not right here. Okay, so let's go click on this circle right here and drag it in. Ah, there we go. See? We're making the curve steeper as we drag these circles in. There we go. See, it looks more like an egg now. Although these rectangles ought to be the same, ought to be at the same level. Needs to be symmetrical. There's probably a way to mirror this, but I didn't do it. Now click on this diamond here. Something went wrong with this. Yeah, see that circle needs to be symmetrical. So these need to be about the same lengths. Okay, well, you probably get the idea now. Let's see. Let's make this a little bit more angular. Angular, right? Okay, so I'm not going to get into gradients because when I try to do gradients, I always mess them up. But we're going to pick a color here. I'm going to change this to pink, right down there in the button. Okay, that's not quite the color I want, so I'm going to try to double click and hopefully it'll come up with the better color editor. And it didn't. I don't know why it's not doing that. I had a fit trying to figure out how to get the regular color editor. Okay, I double clicked on fill over here and it came up. Whatever. Just start clicking in random places on. If you're a kid, just start clicking on random places on your computer, your parents' PC to see what you can get to open. Right? No, I said this video was not for kids, but anyway. It's for adults too, because adults like to play with Legos too. Okay, so if you're a computer programmer and you like to put Easter eggs in things, then this video is for you because they probably don't let you put Easter eggs in your programs at work during your day job. It's like considered a big no-no. So we're gonna drag the lightness. This is like way too bold for me. I like baby colors, So I'm going to soften this up by just dragging the lightness over to the right. Okay. Now my computer monitor is probably not calibrated correctly, and I need to get another monitor, maybe a ViewSonic. I've got an oldest daughter that's a videographer, and it would be nice to have a better monitor, but I don't have a better monitor right now. And so when I exported Little Glow Sheep off of this computer over to the Fire TV that my mom bought me, yeah, my mom bought me a Fire TV. Isn't that cool? Isn't she like an awesome mom, man? Wouldn't you like your mom to buy you a Fire TV? Well, my mom bought me a Fire TV to go with the Nintendo she bought me. An old school 8-bit Nintendo. That's another story. But anyway, yeah. So, what was I thinking? Yeah, so when I exported it over to the Fire TV, the color was way off. So I don't know whether it's this monitor, the Fire TV, or what. Maybe I need to just pull a Fire TV over here instead of using it as a TV and use it as a second monitor. But yeah, it'd be good to have a ViewSonic. And by the way, my mom likes ViewSonic monitors also. I remember that many years ago she liked ViewSonic. They had a picture. Their trademark was a picture of lorikeets. Man, lorikeets are absolutely beautiful, and they're super, super, super friendly. I think they were lorikeets. They're the parrots or lorikeets. I get them mixed up. I'm not sure what the difference is, but it looked like lorikeets on the ViewSonic advertisement. And so I was with my family, with the mother of my children and some of my daughters in Oklahoma City a few times, and they let you go in there with the nectar, and then the lorikeets will sometimes sit on your shoulder, and it's really it's pretty funny, and if you have really, really, really small children, it can actually scare them. But if they're a little bit older, then they really like it to have a little bird sitting on their shoulder or your shoulder, or maybe even poop on your head like they did, and like one of the birds did in the Little Glow Sheep video that I just finished the second draft of. But that's another story. So yeah, the ViewSonic monitors are probably the best for color. So this may not look like a pink egg on your your TV screen. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. So now we got a pink egg, and that's how you change it. You go over to this color wheel, and I'm not even going to get into gradients. So now we want to put in a little bit more decoration for this pink egg, because we're not going to do a gradient. We're going to go back to the path tool over here. Where's the path tool? Pen tool. It says draw Bezier curves and straight lines. And now we're going to go. We're just going to draw a line, but it's going to have to be a closed path line. So we're going to click here. And this time we can just single click. We don't have to click and hold because we're not doing a curve. We're doing straight lines. Click, 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 click. I should probably be doing homework. Click, click. Yeah, I'm a music student. Click, double click. Now it's a closed path. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and select that object. Okay, now we don't want it to be pink because that's kind of lame, so we're going to change it to blue. And that doesn't look too bad, so we probably don't need to customize that, but we're just going to drag the lightness over a little bit to make it softer. And now we're going to do the same thing down here, but we can't copy this because it's not going to fit. Even if we drag it or expand it, it just won't fit quite right. So we're going to do it again. We're going to go down to this pen tool again. Click, 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 click. Whoops, we messed up. Okay, no big deal. So we're going to go ahead and click on over here. I'm sorry that was so loud. We're going to click on the node tool, edit paths. We're just going to drag this over. Make sure you click on the edit paths and let go. Okay, go back to the select tool. That's still not right, so we're going to hold down the control key and use the mouse wheel to zoom in. If you don't have a mouse wheel, I'm sorry, you're going to have to find another way to zoom in. Go back to edit paths again. Click on the object. You should get a mouse wheel. All mice need wheels. You know that, don't you? Especially if you're a pet owner. Mice need wheels. So now we're going to go ahead and hold down the control key, use the mouse wheel to scroll back out. I'm going to go back to the select key, and there, we've got an egg, but we're going to go ahead and add a few more decorations. We're going to add some dots in here. We're going to go use the circle tool. We don't need to do like egg dots. So we're going to use the ellipse tool. All right. There, 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 Now we're going to color these dots. We're going to color this one pink. That's hot pink, but we want it to be a little light. Well, let's make it purple. No, that's lightness. We need to drag the color wheel over to the hue. Right now, lightness, we're going to make it soft. We want it to be soft pink, purple. There we go. Sorry, I need to scroll in. Hold down the control key, use the mouse wheel to zoom in. See, there we go. That's purple. Now we're going to click on the select key, and actually there's a shortcut for that. It says S. The key on the keyboard, S. So this would be a lot faster than using PowerPoint. You could go really, really, really super fast in drawing your vector graphics. So you really should take the time to learn this. Anyways, we're going to click on the next one. We're going to make that a different color. I don't know, maybe green. But remember, we want it to be soft so it doesn't contrast so much. There we go. And then we're going to click here. We're going to make it maybe yellow. I don't know. Drag that over to the right. Lightness. And we're going to click on this one. And I don't know. What's a good color? I wish I could take comments from you. Hue. I'm not that good, though. So yeah, and then lightness. Drag it over right there. There we go. And there's our Easter egg. Okay. And you can draw a couple like that, but actually we need this in the center. Okay, remember I went through that. So we're going to drag the whole thing. We're going to select everyone, go to group, and I don't know, the groups hasn't been working well for me, so we can say group. Then we're going to drag it up to the center of the page because because if we want to rotate it later on, we want it to be dead center, because with the Z-axis, it comes out of the center of the page and heads towards your head, your chest, whatever. Okay, it just heads straight out of the page. Okay, don't have a good way to show that right here, but it goes like this, straight like this. X, Y, Z. Okay, right. So it comes straight out of the page. So if we were going to export this, we'll go to File, and then Export. Okay. Now we want to export the entire page because we want to actually rotate this thing. And if you were to export it with this bounding rectangle right here, well, let's go to selection and see what happens. See, it shrinks it, and that's cool if you're not planning on rotating. But if you, in some applications like KDENLive, I think there's been instances where if you rotate an object that's bounded by a rectangle along the Z-axis, then you can get clipping as the object hits the edges of that rectangle. Now, if you use a huge, infinitely large rectangle, you don't run into that clipping. But I can't really show you, but I'm just saying that as this egg right here tends to, I can't put my hand over on it. As it tends to lean over, it's going to hit up against this edge right here. So that's why you want that bounding rectangle bigger. And we're using a bounding square to avoid that problem. And I was trying to do I've done this video a couple of times because I keep messing up and I keep saying things I don't want to say. But one of the things that you want to do is, like, say when you rotate, the reason why we're using a square is so that when we rotate, we don't run into that problem. Now, I think you can rotate in this program, but I keep messing up. So I'm on the select mode. I'm going to double click on this again. See if it works this time. No matter, I don't know. I just can't seem to get that right. Wow. Control Z to undo. For some reason, I can't figure out how to... There we go. Did you see that? I don't know what happened. There we go. Click once, click twice. Okay, it's not double click. See, I'm learning this app too. Click once, click twice. Okay, there. See, now you can rotate in this application. Whoops. Control Z. We need to group it first. I don't know what's... So in PowerPoint, the group stays permanently, but in here, the group only is temporary for some reason. So we're going to click select all. I don't know what. We're back to the square. We're in what? Click. There we go. See, you can rotate in this app, but there's no real reason to do that for what we would want to do because we're going to use a separate app to rotate. Now, I don't know if PowerPoint can import SVGs, but KDENLive can. And so if you want to, what you can do is you can also export this as a GIF. Okay. The advantage of having it in SVG format to begin with, though, is, as I said, as it gets bigger or smaller, it's easier to manipulate. And actually, it reads like code. It's like really, I'm not going to get into this. I'm not going to open the source file, but it's really great for version control. So if you are a computer programmer, or you decide to be a computer programmer later on in life, it is a lot more natural. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and so we're talking about export. We went down to File and Export, and we said Page, and then you say we don't want PNG, we would pick SVG. And so where would we save this? Oh, I don't know. Probably going to show you a bunch of stuff I don't want to show you. Let's see. Glow Sheep. I don't see anything really bad about that, but we want to go to Desktop, Source. Let's make a new folder, test, and we're going to put it in here, right? And then we're going to click, I don't know why. Okay, that didn't work. Well, anyways, I created a folder called test and desktop source test. So we're going to go back down here. We're going to click on this folder button. We're going to go to desktop, source, test, and we're going to call this egg, pink egg, right? And click save. Okay. Right, so that's the pink egg, and now we're going to also do this plain SVG. We're going to do it as PNG. We can do it as PNG. And I thought there was a GIF option off. WebP, that's not too bad. But SVG is the best. I'm sure whatever you do, don't pick JPEG, because then you're going to lose your transparency. See how that's a checkered background there? You may not be able to see on your TV. There's a checkered background in this sample, and that indicates transparency. And over here, it's white, but that is transparency on there. And I'm sure you can change this to where that background color is, the transparent color is something other than white, but I don't know how to do that. So we'll just pick PNG if you have a regular. And so we have pink egg PNG and we have pink egg SVG, and we're going to click export. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to go into desktop, source, test. Okay, immediately Windows Explorer picks up pink egg.png. It's not sure what to think about pink egg SVG, so we're going to open it in Microsoft Edge. If Microsoft Edge will start up anytime soon, and there it is. It says pink egg SVG, right? And we could go in there and change the background to that if we wanted to put it on a web page, and it'd be seamless. So and it scales too. Look at that. There's like no degradation. If you do that if you do this to a GIF, eventually you're going to get some degradation. Now you can see that I didn't actually line up my my edge point real great, but we don't see a bunch of pixels here, and that's what you'd see if you zoomed into a raster image. Right, so that's one egg. So let's do one more egg over here. Let's go back to Inkscape. We're gonna keep the same egg shape, but we're gonna do different decorations. So we're gonna go to select. Why is it grouped all of a sudden? Now it's wanting to group. Double click. There, okay. Double click apparently ungroups. Maybe that's my problem. So we're gonna get rid of that circle. Is this? And now we're going to draw some curves. Okay, I'm not going to do text, but you can do text on here, but I don't know how to do it. So we're going to click on a curve. Pen tool. I'm going to click here, first point. We're going to click and hold down. We're going to make the curve extent. We're going to make it a moderate curve. Then we're going to go to the second point, although that's upside down for some reason. We're going to click there. And then we're going to go to the third point. Oops. Oops. I already messed up. My bad. Let's delete that. Let's try this again. I'm going to click on the first point and hold down, drag to the left. Okay, that indicates the curve extent. Now we're going to let go and drag to go to the first point. That didn't work either. We're going to click on that and hold down. Remember, click and hold if you want a curve. Drag to the right. Okay, that looks good. Let go. Click on the third point. Hold down. Drag to the right. Oop, nope, drag to the left. Okay, something's not right working there. Woo, that's not working. Let's just not make that a curve. Okay, how's that? Let go. Now we're gonna go to the next point. Oh, this is not working out. I should have rehearsed this one. We're just gonna click here, hold down, drag left. There. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's doing it kinda. Let go. And then we're gonna go over here for the last point. Click and hold. We're gonna drag. Woo. Woo, pig suey. Yeah. Let go. Okay. So that was not the curve I expected. Okay. So we're gonna click on edit points. Node tool. Zoom in, control, hold down the left mouse button. Click on the edit points. And this is not quite right. Let's turn this around. Oh, that doesn't look so bad. Something's okay, maybe this one's the wrong way. No. I cannot make this work. Worked fine for the egg, but it's not working here. What am I doing wrong here? I need a closed path for sure. Maybe it's this one. I don't know. That one looks okay. Let's try change this. Yep, that looks better. Oh, that looks much better. But something's not right here. Oh, look at that. That looks better. What about this one? Drag this up. Whoops. Bring that up. Yeah. Let's make it a little more curvy. Click here. Kind of more curvy. You can tell I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Let's see. Drag this up. Yeah, increasing the curviness. Oh, no. Okay, well that doesn't look too bad. Scroll back out. Okay, so let's just make this a different color. Blue. Oh, purple. Let's go back to the double click on the fill. Drag that lightness over to the right. Now, let's make it green. There we go. Okay, let's draw another band like that. Although this one, I encouraged you not to copy it, but this one was so hard that we're just going to copy it. So we're gonna get lazy. We're gonna click on this select button, click on this curve, click Control C. We're gonna click somewhere else, click Control V, and we're gonna drag this over here. Whoops. We're gonna drag it over here. Now, what are we gonna do here? We're gonna go to Edit Points. We're gonna try to make this fit. Whoops, that didn't work. Control Z. There we go. Now, let's see. Something's not right here. I think we need another point. So if you double click on this area, you can get another point. There we go. And then we're gonna drag that over, this over to the left. We're gonna put another point here. Yeah, we're gonna drag that over to the right. Remember, if you mess up, Control Z, but you need to do it as quickly as possible. You don't wanna like stack the changes. And that's one good thing. You know, I know you probably don't use Git, but you know, each time you make a good iteration of something, you would want to check that into Git so that you can see your history of changes. Because when you save here, unless you do like File, Save As, and you do a trick that I showed my kids, you like draw ink 101, draw ink, let's see, egg 101, and then egg 102, 103, 104, 105. If you need to revert back later on, it can be a pain. Or it can be impossible. So that's why you need to learn how to use Git, and that's a story for another time. But in Git, you check in your changes with each iteration, and you don't have these bunches of files lurking around, this clutter lurking around, but later on you can go back and revert changes, and particularly with SVG files. Raster images, not so much, but with SVG files, you can actually see you can see the code that changed between each version, and it's actually possible to write SVG code by hand. I'm not going to get into that. You need to go to the W3C.org website to figure out how to do that. But yeah, and then if you do that, it's like way clean. You need to just download Visual Studio Code Visual Studio Code is a free editor. Please don't use Notepad. You can use Emacs if you want, but yeah, download Visual Studio Code, and then you could like write your SVG by hand. Use your browser to check it out, and then there's something called SVG.js. I wrote I never finished it, but I wrote part of a program called Cheese Blaster, where it's like a little math program, where like little math blocks fall in from the sky. Well, let's see if we can find that real quick. Shameless plug. I said this was going to be PG. I hope that's not some bad stuff that Microsoft's putting on the screen. Let's see this. This is really super cheesy. Where is it? Cheese Blaster. Story time video. Where is this? 14 plus 3. What's that? I don't know. 5 plus 17. Okay. I'm bad at math. 7. Okay. Whoops. 5 plus 10. Whoops. 5 plus 17. Oh, no, 11 plus 4. Oh, no, 15. Oh, I'm like, I really need to fix this. 3 plus 8. I don't know what 3 plus 8 is. I don't know what 3 plus 8 is. Okay, 14 plus 3. What is that, 17? Our house is saved. Okay, well, let's just let it die. Nothing really cool happens when it dies. Okay, this one's gonna blow it up. I was trying to get this right, but I didn't get it right. Aw, man. I thought I was gonna want to see an explosion. The entire world has been destroyed. Okay, so this was done with SVG GIS. All that stuff you see there is SVG. So I could like take stuff from Inkscape and put it in there, and it would look a lot cooler than this. I wouldn't have to hand code it. So, yeah, it's neglected. Right, so let's go back over here. All right, so egg 103. Okay, yeah, so you should be using, what is it? Git. Seriously. To version control your SVG and other assets. Don't do videos. Please don't do like MPEG 4 files. You can maybe get away with some VP9 files because they're compressed pretty good, but MPEG, oh my goodness, MPEG is so wasteful. The HVAC 264 and 265 isn't so bad, but the older MPEG is really bad, and Google VP9 is probably the best compression I've seen, and it's royalty free, so please use it. Oh my goodness, this is already 42 minutes long. Can I? Some of it is going to get cut out, but not very much. I can't believe this is taking forever. I'm sorry to be so long-winded. So we're going to go ahead and cancel that. And then we're going to click on, okay, we're going to copy this one more time. And paste it. Whoops. I think I already made a copy of that. Nope. Let's put that back where it was. I can't figure out how to put it back where it was. Whatever. Click over here, V. Whoa, that didn't work. Select it, Control C, click over here, Control V. There we go. We're gonna drag that over here. Now we're gonna go ahead and try to edit the points again. Where's edit points? Edit points by nodes, click on that. Okay, so we're gonna click on this node. Yep. And drag that over there, click on this node, drag this over here. Let's bring this over to the right. There we go. So now we got a different egg. And about the background color, we don't want it to be pink anymore. We want it to be blue, and we want it to be a lighter blue. Actually, we want it to be purple, right? So we want to be really, 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 really light purple. Okay, so, and then, what do we, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Where is this? Let's try this. This is probably a bad idea. Where's the... There we go. Right. Whoops. Yeah, so let's go ahead and try another one. Just to be fair. Right, and then, come on now. Okay. Should this be any color? Can you make it a color? I don't think we can make it a color. Because it's like, it's too small or something. Now that is one area where the actual size did matter. Apparently I made this too small, and so the stroke size is like really, 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 really... Yeah. The stroke size is really interfering big time. Let's see. Fill. Let's see if I can change the fill color. No, I'm having trouble changing the color of the text because it's so, there we go. See, that stroke was too big. So we're going to click on this one, make the stroke smaller. We change the color of that somehow. Okay. Right, let's see. There we go. And, let's see. Just double click on this. What color are we going to make these? Blue. Remember, we want these to be nice, small colors. And then green. We want that to be a little bit more pronounced. There we go. That looks almost like an alien. Maybe we need to change the hue. There we go. We'll make it a little bit more bluer so it's not so... It doesn't stand out quite so bad. Although it doesn't contrast very well with that. Crud. I don't know how to... What if we go over here? Yellow. Ooh, that doesn't look so bad. Make Kristen yellow. Make her yellow. A little yellow. But just slightly. Of course, on your TV it may look a little strange, but... And this one? What color are we going to make this? Oh, not pink. We don't want pink, because we got pink. Oh, I forgot to change... Let's just, I don't know. What about this pink? That doesn't look too bad. Now let's click on this. Let's change this color to purple. There. It's not quite. Well, you get the idea. That's not the best in the world, but there we go. We got an egg. So happy Easter, y'all. And so we'll go to File, and we'll go to Export. Actually, you can save the whole thing, but, and again, you can export the selection only if you want. Whoops. You can export just the selection if you want, but then you're going to get into problems when you rotate. So we'll go back to Page, and we'll go to, we'll click on that. We'll export the page, and then we'll go to Export. We're going to say Name Egg, I guess. I don't know. Export. Right. Okay. So, now, what are we going to do here? I said I wasn't going to do this, but I want to do it real quick. Hopefully. Good luck to that, right? Good luck with that, right? Alright. And, yeah, I have to go to work tomorrow. Got a day job. I got school that's coming up too. I'm over here playing around. And this video is going way too long. Starting up KDENLive. Let's see if we can find some assets or something. Here it goes. All right. File, new project. 30 frames per second is a pretty good one. If you're doing like in-home animation, 60 frames per second is probably best. But if you're doing like video, chances are your cell phone probably will not go faster than 30 frames per second. So you're kind of being stupid to go to 60 frames per second because you're just going to like double the amount of space that it takes, and it's going to take way longer to render your project. So we're going to go with 30 frames per second. 1080p is usually pretty good for me. So we're going to click on that. That's what my Fire TV is. It's 1080p. Let's see. Project. Add clipper folder. We're going to try to find some clip from Little Glow Sheep that I can... Let's see if I can go to show preview. It's going to show preview. Let's go to frames. No, it's not wanting to preview the frames for some reason. What's this? There it is. Let's find a frame that's halfway decent. Oh, yeah. Let's just drop eggs on the sheeps. Click OK. I don't know what that's about. Create and switch to new profile. Why is it saying 3960 by 5232? I don't know what that's about. Cancel. So we're going to drag this on here. Click on the timeline. There we go. Right. So then we're going to go project, add clipper folder. We're going to go back to source, test. And we don't want the PNG ones. You could use PNG ones if your software doesn't support it, but oh, name egg. Oh, we exported that as a PNG. Whoops. Let's go back over here. Let's change this to SVG. Click export, name egg. Okay, replace. There we go. Now we're going to do the alien here, but we're going to click on name egg and then pink egg. Click OK. There we go. We got name egg and pink egg. There we go. All right. And then we'll go back over here. Oh my goodness, that's big. And this is where SVG should shine. We're going to add another track. Insert track above. Click OK. We're going to put the pink egg underneath it. We'll make these both the same length. Drag that over there. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to transform these because they're too small or too big or whatever. So we're going to go to Effects. We're going to go to Transform. Click on Name Egg. Transform. We're going to drag this down to here. And we're going to click on this first frame. Something didn't happen right. We need this effect right here. We're going to drag that down there. And we're going to drag it down here. Okay, there we go. Now we get these bounding rectangles. So we're going to like drag this. Oh, we want this to see how we can make this as big as we want and we don't see any pixelation. Okay, we would have gotten pixelation if we would have tried that on oh my goodness, I'm way too zoomed in. That happens in KDENLive sometimes. If we did that with a raster image, we would see it would get like grainy. That happened with the squirrel and the rabbit on this. So there we go. We're going to start it off the screen, and it's going to be a big egg, unfortunately. It's going to be way too big. We're going to start this one off the screen. And there we go. So now we're going to go to a part in the place in the future. We're going to drop a keyframe here. Keyframe, you can look on keyframe somewhere else. We're going to drop a keyframe here on this bottom one. And then we're going to go, and what are we going to do with the keyframe? Well, we're going to rotate it. We're going to drag it down here. We don't want to squish the, we don't want to squish the sheep. So I'm going to rotate. Oh, woo! Hope, I'm sorry. And then we're going to click on up here. We're going to drag this one. And this is going to it's going to crash into the other egg, but it's not going to break. And we're going to rotate it. There we go. Okay. There we go. So that's it. That's a keyframe. And now we go back to, we're going to go to full screen mode. We're going to zoom back in. And we're going to watch the eggs tumble onto the sheepies. No, not really. Maybe. Let's see. There's your SVG being animated in... Why isn't this egg over here moving? This egg is like stuck. There it goes. Let's see, this rotates. We're able to move the egg. So that's how you make an SVG file. That's how you draw an egg. And you can see their names. You can barely see Sarah. You can see Kristen and Caitlin there. That's it.